In Tibetan, Guru Padmasambhava is generally referred to as Guru Rinpoche, which means precious master. Guru Rinpoche is a totally enlightened being, a fully awakened one, a Buddha. He did not become enlightened gradually or start practicing the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni and eventually achieve enlightenment. Guru Rinpoche incarnated as a fully enlightened being. Through his form, primordial wisdom manifests in the world to benefit all sentient beings, explains the Padmasambhava Buddhist Center. His appearance was actually predicted by Buddha Shakyamuni through 19 different sutras and tantras that contain clear information about his arrival and activities. According to the Padmasambhava Buddhist Center, the Buddha said, 8 years after my mahaparinirvana, freedom after death, a remarkable being with the name Padmasambhava will appear in the center of a lotus and reveal the highest teaching concerning the ultimate state of the true nature, bringing great benefit to all sentient beings. Padmasambhava was an Indian tantric master who played a major role in bringing Vajrayana Buddhism from India to Tibet during the 8th century. Though he has been the subject of many legends and myths, little is known about his life from a historical perspective. One of the things we know is that he helped establish Tibet's first Buddhist monastery located in Samye. He is also considered the founder of the Nyingma school, one of the 4 major traditions of Tibetan Buddhism and the oldest one. In this lineage, and particularly in the Dzogchen teachings, which focus on discovering the ultimate ground of existence, he is considered an important symbol of enlightenment and an object of meditation. The word Padma is Sanskrit. It was preserved as a Tibetan word and means lotus flower. Sambhava means born from. Padmasambhava's usual name in Tibetan is Prerna Jugne, translated from the Sanskrit name Padmakara, which means originated from a lotus. When Padmakara was born from a lotus flower, and also while being led back by King Indrabhuti, his adoptive father, wherever he was set down, a lotus spontaneously sprung up. The king would then exclaim, "This child is truly a lotus-home one." Therefore, he became renowned as Padmakara. Later, when he became learned in the fields of knowledge and presided as the head of 500 great Panditas, eminent scholars and masters in Tibetan Buddhism, he was known as Padmasambhava, the lotus-born. Thus, he is indeed named after his manner of birth. This explanation was given by Yeshe Sogyal, who lived in the 8th century CE and was considered the mother of Tibetan Buddhism. There are different interpretations regarding Padmasambhava's birth. However, the most renowned one states that on the 10th day of the 6th month of the monkey year, that is 749 CE, he miraculously appeared in the blossom of a multicolored lotus flower. This event is said to have taken place in a lake known as the Ocean of Milk, also called Lake Danakosha, located in southwest Haryana on the Afghanistan-Pakistan frontier. As Yeshe Sogyal describes, Padmasambhava took birth from a lotus rower in a way that is called instantaneous birth. Instantaneous birth in itself is nothing to marvel about, since all beings take rebirth through one of the 4 modes of birth: womb birth, egg birth, moisture birth, and instantaneous birth. But this master's birth was superior to ordinary instantaneous birth. Padmasambhava appeared as an exquisitely beautiful 8-year-old child, possessing all the major and minor marks of perfection. He held a vajra and a lotus in his hands and immediately began teaching the area's gods and dakinis these last being the female embodiments of enlightenment. Padmasambhava or Guru Rinpoche, which means precious teacher, assumed 8 principal forms at different points in his life, with additional forms also described in Tibetan and Indian text. In Tibetan, these forms are called Guru Sengye, meaning the 8 names of the Guru. Each manifestation is said to demonstrate a different principle that unveils the innermost nature of mind. They are described as follows: Guru Sokya Dorje, lake-born Vajra; Guru Shakya Senge, lion of the Shakyas; Guru Nyema Ozair, rays of the sun; Guru Padmasambhava, lotus born; Guru Pema Jogne, Guru Loden Chokse, wise seeker of the sublime; Guru Pema Yalpo, the lotus king; Guru Senge Dradrok, the lion's roar; Guru Dorje Drojo, wild wrathful Vajra. It is important to understand that Padmasambhava's life transcends conventional norms, defying history and chronology. Through his 8 manifestations, he is said to have lived for hundreds of years, a figure that is symbolic and not to be taken literally as a historical fact. He is perceived as an extraordinary and timeless being whose nature and spiritual achievements surpass mere lifespan. Therefore, numerous accounts exist related to his life which cannot be fully covered here. As we said before, one of his greatest legacies was the establishment of the Nyingma tradition by supervising the translation of Buddhist texts into Tibetan and reinvigorating Buddhism throughout the region while teaching the Vajrayana. Hence, he earned the title of the Buddhas of the Vajrayana. Padmasambhava also established the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet at Samye, present-day Lokha, in response to an invitation by Resong Detsen, the 38th Emperor of Tibet. Despite initial challenges in construction, Guru Rinpoche's arrival cleared the obstacle and the monastery was completed in 767 CE. As Tibet's inaugural monastery, Samye holds profound significance in Tibetan Buddhist culture, often regarded as the birthplace of Tibetan Buddhism. Padmasambhava's arrival in Tibet is also associated with the spread of tantric rituals, teachings, and the erection of stupas, the most sacred buildings in Buddhism. During this period, he devoted himself to subduing the spirits and forces that obstructed the study and practice of Buddhism. He also imparted numerous teachings to his students, among whom 25 became renowned. Additionally, he is said to have left behind dharmas, which are hidden teachings intended to be discovered in the future by Tartans, enlightened minds, when human civilization was ready to receive them. According to the Vajrayana tradition, these dharmas can manifest as both tangible objects hidden in places such as lakes or the earth, and as intangible revelations. During his life, he journeyed through Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, and the Himalayan regions of India, imparting blessings and teachings across the entire area. As a result, numerous pilgrimage sites dedicated to him exist today. Most monasteries in this part of the world feature a statue of Guru Padmasambhava, alongside statues of Buddha Shakyamuni and one of the Bodhisattvas, typically Tara, Amitabha, or Maitreya. Additionally, his mantra remains widely revered and continues to hold significant power for the people of these regions. Regarding his death, it is believed that Padmasambhava did not pass away in the conventional sense as we understand it. Therefore, according to tradition, he was never reborn. Gyatro Rinpoche, a senior lama of the Palyol lineage of the Nyingma school, explained that when his work in Tibet was completed, Padmasambhava departed to the west in a body of pure light to the Buddha field known as the glorious copper-colored mountain, where he resides even to this day. This place, also known as Zangdok Palri, is said to be home to a place where the Guru is believed to still reside. Guru Rinpoche is for most Himalayan Buddhism the second Buddha. He is considered the Buddha of every form and teaching of enlightenment and is revered by followers of Vajrayana Buddhism as both Amitabha, he who is infinite, and Avalokiteshvara, the embodiment of all Buddhas. While the Buddha is mainly known for teaching the Sutrayana teachings, though some say he may have taught the tantras in secret, Padmasambhava is regarded as the master of the tantras. These texts and practices focus on achieving rapid enlightenment and gaining a deeper understanding of the nature of reality, particularly within the Vajrayana tradition. It is said that Padmasambhava came to this world and to Tibet in particular, specifically to teach the tantras. According to the general approach of Buddha Dharma, the story of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni begins from the moment his enlightenment in India at Vajrasana, Dorje, the modern Bodh Gaya. Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma on 3 occasions and finally passed into parinirvana, the state that follows death for someone who has attained nirvana. Then Padmasambhava came to follow up his teachings and especially to turn the wheel of the secret mantra, Vajrayana teachings. Whereas Buddha gave the fundamental teachings and opened up the ground, it was Padmasambhava who introduced the teachings of the Vajrayana. Another of Padmasambhava's teachings that enjoy widespread recognition today is the Bardo Thorol, commonly known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This text is the most renowned piece of Nyingma literature and describes the experiences that consciousness undergoes after death in the Bardo, which in Tibetan cosmology is the interval between death and the next rebirth. Part of a larger corpus of teachings known as the profound dharma of self-liberation through the intention of the peaceful and wrathful ones. This text was composed by Padmasambhava and dictated to his Tibetan consort, Yeshe Sogyal. It was then a hidden dharma in a cave on Gampo Dar mountain in central Tibet. It was subsequently discovered by a Tibetan Tartan, Karma Lingpa, who is regarded as an emanation of Padmasambhava himself in the 14th century. This corpus of teachings, which include the Bardo Thorol, addresses the 6 transitional processes or bardos that constitute our experience in samsara, the cycle of mundane existence. In this profound text, Padmasambhava instructs us on how to attain self-liberation within these states. Though it has widely been taught and practiced since its discovery, it only became accessible to a broader public in the West in 1995. This was when a senior Lama of the Nyingma order, the Venerable Gyathrul Rinpoche, taught it openly to a group of both Buddhists and non-Buddhists in San Francisco, California. As mentioned earlier, the future incarnation of Padmasambhava was prophesied by Buddha Shakyamuni himself. As Yeshe Sogyal recounts in a book about Padmasambhava's life story, the Buddha described this emanation as possessing 5 distinctive qualities that set him apart from others. Listen, whole retinue with one pointed mind. This emanation of myself will be superior to other emanations in the 3 times. Not subject to age and decline, his eminent form will be superior to other emanations. From the very first vanquishing the 4 maras, his wrathful power will be superior to other emanations, teaching the greater vehicle of Buddhahood in one lifetime. His realization will be superior to other emanations, converting the central and surrounding lands of the Jambu continent. His benefit for beings will be superior to other emanations. Beyond passing away in this good eon, his lifespan will be superior to other emanations. This is because he is an emanation of Amitabha. Padmasambhava's life is enveloped in extraordinary tales and narratives depicting his appearances in various forms across different places, as previously observed. These stories commence with Buddha's prophecies foretelling his birth from a lotus and extend to his eventual dissolution. They also recount his deeds in taming demons in Tibet, transforming them into protectors of the Dharma during the construction of Samye Monastery. Additionally, they encompass his 8 manifestations with different names and the tradition of revealing treasures or dharmas. While some sources affirm that he stayed in Tibet for 56 years, others claim he was forced to leave shortly after founding Samye, having been accused of practicing magic. One of these stories narrates that he fled Tibet on the back of a tigress and took refuge in a cave where he meditated for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days and 3 hours without drinking water or eating food. This place, known today as the Tiger's Nest and located in Bhutan, is just one of 13 Taksang or tiger lair caves in historical Tibet where Padmasambhava meditated, practiced and taught Vajrayana. The truth is that when we ask ourselves who Padmasambhava was, there is no definite answer. His life cannot be approached solely from a historical perspective. It was as mystical and mysterious as the life of a Buddha can be. Because what is certain is that he did not come from this dimension and does not reside in it either. As the great Tibetan scholar, writer and Tartan Jamgon Kongtrul explained, this great master was neither an ordinary individual who gradually traversed the spiritual path, nor an exalted bodhisattva who reached a stage of awakening. He was an embodiment of enlightenment made manifest by the Buddha infinite light, Amitabha, and by the incomparable Buddha Shakyamuni to guide to enlightenment in myriad ways human and non-human beings who are otherwise disinclined to spiritual life. While the specific details of his immense existence remain hidden, Padmasambhava's teachings, on the other hand, have survived through centuries, invasions and destruction, continuing to inspire people from all places and cultures.